welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello, everyone. I am Mike.
Hello, everyone. I am Nina. And today we're doing how to recognize the signal for help. You know, that's interesting because the other day I saw a video online of a social experiment. So this woman and this man were acting and they were walking down the street and he was holding her arm, but she had her right arm behind her back.
I see.
And she was motioning something. And I didn't know exactly what that motion meant, but some people who passed by and saw it recognized that maybe she needed some help or something was going on. And some people just saw it and thought she was weird. Why is she doing that? And just kept on walking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it seemed like it's some sort of signal for help. So I think it's good that we learn what it is so that when we do see it, we can maybe do something, right?
Absolutely. This is a form of communication. It's a very clear signal. I mean, we get a little clue there in our title. It's the signal for help, not a signal for help, because there's many ways you can ask for help. You can wave your arms, you can do this, come here, or something like that.
Help.
You can scream, exactly. And of course, we know of things like SOS and Mayday, things you can say when you're in trouble and you need help. But this is an actual hand signal, as Nina was describing, that certain people, if they understand it, when they see it, they will know that person is in trouble. And another interesting thing I learned from the article is this signal for help is quite new. It was something that was invented not long ago, in fact, during the COVID times.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully at the end of today, we will all know the signal for help. So if you ever need help, or if you ever see someone use it, you will know what to do with the signal for help. So let's find out all about it.
In recent years, a simple hand gesture has become popular on social media for its ability to save lives. The signal for help allows victims to ask for help without words and has already led to several rescues around the world. The gesture was first created by the Canadian Women's Foundation during COVID-19 lockdowns in 2020. At that time, many people were stuck at home with abusers and could not speak freely.
Now we are back at how to recognize the signal for help.
Exactly right. And there actually in our title, we have one of our vocabulary words, an important word here. We're talking about the noun signal. A signal is basically a sign that gives you information. Often it will give a very clear bit of information in a very short and simple way. Maybe because of danger, maybe for warning you that something could happen, or just as a way of communicating. Waving is a signal. We often use lights or colors as signals. Flags can also be signals. Often in sports, they might use flags or a whistle. A sound can be a signal. It tells you something is going to happen or an action will be finishing, maybe. For example, the red light is a signal for cars to stop driving. And of course, the green light would be the signal for cars to start driving. That is a pretty common signal that most people understand. So let's learn about the signal for help.
Okay, now getting into the article. In recent years, a simple hand gesture has become popular on social media for its ability to save lives. Okay, so a hand gesture. So a gesture is a movement you make with your hands or body to show meaning. All right, for example, nodding is a gesture that means yes in many cultures.
That's right. Shaking your head, of course, is the gesture for no. But what about the gesture or the signal for help? Well, this is a simple gesture. It says the signal for help allows victims to ask for help without words and has already led to several rescues around the world. So
Wow.
people who might be in trouble, people who might be the victim of a crime is happening to them, they might need to be rescued. If you've been kidnapped or stolen away, taken away from your family, for example, you would need to be rescued or you would need a rescue, right? To rescue is to save someone from some kind of danger or harm. We can use it both as a noun. There was a rescue that the fire department performed yesterday, we could say, or the fire department rescued some people from a burning building. They saved those people from getting hurt or getting killed from the danger of that burning building. We also have this example sentence: the rescue team arrived at the mountain just in time. Maybe some people were caught up there in a storm or an earthquake or something like that. All right, well, here to rescue us from poor English vocab and grammar is our good friend Hanny. So let's go over to her.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 How to recognize the signal for help， 如何识别求救信号。Signal 这个名词就表示信号或是讯号。那课文提到，近年来有一个简单的求救手势，在社群媒体上广为流传，这让受害者能够在不说话的情况下求助，并且已经在世界各地促成了多次的救援。好，来看单字 gesture。gesture 这个名词表示示意动作、手势或是姿态。Rescue 当名词或动词可以表达救援、营救。那我们接着回到课文中。
Okay, thank you, Hanny. Now, continuing, the gesture was first created by the Canadian Women's Foundation during COVID-19 lockdowns in 2020. Okay, so actually, it was created quite recently, just about 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago in 2020 during the COVID lockdown. Now, of course, everyone remembers the COVID lockdown. It wasn't so bad here in Taiwan, but in places like Canada, America, much of Europe, people were staying at home all the time, as the article says. At that time, during the COVID lockdown period of the early 2020s, at that time, many people were stuck at home with abusers and could not speak freely.
Wow.
So a lot of people who would normally be able to get out, maybe go to a police station, get some help from friends or teachers or people at a hospital, who knows, these people were stuck at home. They couldn't leave. Remember, it was the COVID lockdown. And if you're at home with an abuser, someone who is treating you badly, hitting you or being violent with you, you couldn't find help in the normal ways that people could because people were not free to move around. They couldn't also speak freely. You can't really say, help me, help me. Why do you need help? This person right here is trying to hurt me. That would be quite dangerous for the victim to try to get help in that kind of situation.
Yes.
Because they're stuck at home. Well, let's go over to Hanny. We're stuck with her, but that's okay because she's here to help us with our English.
这个求救手势最初是由加拿大妇女基金会在2020年新冠疫情封城期间创造的。当时许多人跟施暴者困在家中，没办法自由交谈。好，补充单字 lockdown 这个名词它表示封城或是封锁。Abuser 则是表达施暴者或是施虐者。那我们接回课文中。
Okay, now let's go to the second part of the article when we're back from this break.
To make this gesture, first hold up your hand with your palm facing out. Next, tuck your thumb in so that 4 fingers are visible. Finally, fold your fingers down over your thumb. The signal resembles gestures for the numbers 5, 4, and 0. If you see the signal, reach out safely and let the person guide what happens next. However, take note that the signal has its limits. If an abuser knows the signal and notices it, the victim could face more danger. People who don't know about the signal might also use it accidentally. Still, knowing how to recognize the signal is worth the effort, and it could one day help you save a life.
All right. We're talking about the signal for help, which can be used in situations where a person is in trouble, but they can't talk about it. Maybe the other person around them is actually hurting that person, so they have to have a way of asking for help without using words. And that's the signal for help. So how do you actually do it? Well, it's good. We have instructions right here. It says to make this gesture, first hold up your hand with your palm, that's the inside part of your hand, facing out, kind of like when you're waving hello or sort of giving a high five to someone. Next, tuck your thumb in so that 4 fingers are visible. So you have the 4 fingers up here. Your thumb is tucked in there against your palm. And then there's one more gesture.
Finally, fold your fingers down over your thumb. Okay, the signal resembles gestures for the numbers 5, 4, and 0. Okay, so it seems like you have to go 5, 4, 0, these 3 steps. It resembles these numbers. So to resemble means to look like someone or something. Okay, so it looks like the numbers 5, 4, and 0 with your hands. For example, for resemble, the brother and sister closely resemble each other.
Okay.
They look alike.
They look alike. Not exactly the same, but alike. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's go over to Hanny. She has so much good stuff to tell us. We'll listen to everything she has to say, and then we'll be back.
那我们来看看如何做出这个手势。首先举起你的手，手掌朝外，接着将拇指收进掌心，让4根手指头可以看见，最后将手指向下弯曲覆盖拇指。那这个信号就类似数字540的手势。好，单字 resemble 这个动词表示与什么相似或者是像的意思。文中用到 tuck your thumb in 表示把拇指收进掌心。tuck 这个动词就可以表达把什么藏入、塞进或是夹入的意思。那这边有一个重点是 with 加受词加受词补语。这个句型是用来说明附带状况或原因。受词补语可以用到分词、形容词或介系词片语。我们用分词当受词补语的话，就看看受词跟补语关系是主动，用现在分词 VING， 被动用过去分词 PP。好，举例来说 ，She stood there with her arms crossed。她双臂交叉站在门边。那这边受词补语我们用到过去分词 PP crossed。第二个例句 ，I can't sleep with the lights on。开着灯我睡不着。那这时候用到受词补语是形容词 on。好，那我们接着回课文中。
All right, so 5, 4, and 0. So that's the signal for help. Now you know what to do if you need help. You can hopefully make that gesture, but it doesn't really work as a signal if the other people around you don't know what it means and don't know what to do. So now you know how to do it. Now you know what it means. What can you do? Well, this is a really important part. It says, if you see the signal, so you are out in public or somewhere, you see someone make this gesture. So if you see the signal, reach out safely and let the person guide what happens next.
Ooh,
All right, so try to get that person away from the person they're with. Maybe you can pretend to be an old friend. You can say, hey, I haven't seen you since high school or something like that. And just try to get that person away and ask what help they might need. That's the way you can really make this signal very effective.
Okay. However, take note that the signal has its limits. If an abuser knows the signal and notices it, the victim could face more danger. Okay, that's why when you do this signal, you don't want people to hear it, but also you don't want the person with you to see it, right? The abuser.
Yeah, if the abuser, that is the person doing the bad things to the other one. If they know it, well, they'll know that, oh, you're asking for help, and then things can get bad. It says people who don't know about the signal might also use it accidentally, right? If you see someone saying, oh, my lunch cost me 540 NT dollars or something, you might, hey, they're asking for help. No, they might just be making a gesture with the numbers, or maybe their thumbs are cold. So you have to kind of be careful. Hopefully, if someone is using the signal for help, it is very clear that they need that help.
Yes.
But you want to be careful how you get involved with this, and do be aware that sometimes people can use this signal accidentally, or as we might say, by accident. In other words, not on purpose. It was something that they did, and they didn't mean for it to go in that direction. When we have an accident or do something accidentally, maybe we weren't careful, maybe we slipped, maybe we just had a bit of bad luck or something like that. But generally, something goes wrong in a way that wasn't planned before. For example, Sharon accidentally called the wrong phone number. This has probably happened to a lot of people. You write it down wrong, or you just don't press the right button. You make a little mistake, you have an accident. Whatever happened accidentally, using that adverb.
So even though you might accidentally make the signal, or some people don't know what it is, still, knowing how to recognize the signal is worth the effort. And it could one day help you save a life, or save your own life.
Save your own life, absolutely. Or help a stranger who is in need of great help. And you can be the hero in that situation, but do be careful how you use it or where you use it. All right, let's go over to Hanny. She's got lots of good stuff to tell us. I can't wait to hear what it is.
课文提醒我们，如果看到这个信号，请在安全的情况下伸出援手，并让对方引导接下来的行动。不过，这个信号也有它的局限性。一个就是当施暴者知道这个信号并注意到了，那受害者可能面临更大危险。另外一个局限是，有人可能在不知道这个信号的情况下，无意中使用了它。那不管怎么样，这个求救信号还是值得我们花一点心力去了解。好，单字 accidentally 这个副词表示意外地、不小心地，就相当于 by accident。那这边还有两个重点，第一个重点是 if 引导条件句用来表示可能发生的情况，那指未来情况时 if 子句的动词要用现在式代替未来式，它的句型会是 if 主词加动词，逗号祈使句，或是 if 主词加动词，逗号主词加上 will、can 或是 may 再加原形动词。我们造两个例句 ：If you're sleepy, go take a nap. 如果你困了，就去小睡一下。If we don't hurry, we will miss the flight. 如果不快一点，我们会错过班机。好，那第二个重点是 WH 疑问词引导的这个名词片语。WH 疑问词像 what, when, where, who, which, how 后面接不定词 to V 可以形成名词片语，用来当主词、受词或是主词补语，它就会跟名词子句WH 疑问词加主词加助动词加动词的意思相同。我们这边看一个例句 I don't know what to wear 就相当于 I don't know what I should wear 我不知道该穿什么。那 what to wear 就是名词片语 What I should wear 是名词子句，它们在句子里面就是当受词用。好，接滑课文中。
All right, before we say goodbye, we have our what do you think question. Why, not what, why do you think it is useful to learn the signal?
Well, I think that knowing the signal is helpful because just like in the social experiment, the woman did that signal and there were some people that were actually able to help her or to separate her from the actor, which was supposed to be the abuser. So in this case, you save someone who's in a very sticky situation that really couldn't call out for help. Right?
Absolutely, I would totally agree. And on the other way, I would say if you learn this signal, you can help someone who is in trouble In addition, you can ask for help if you are ever in trouble, and we hope that doesn't happen, but it's good to be either able to help people who need help or get that help yourself. And now you are empowered, so remember that, and we will see you. I'll just use a normal gesture. We'll just use the normal waving goodbye gesture.
I don't want to be next to Mike right now.
We're not asking for, hopefully you're not asking help. I'm trying to say goodbye, so we'll review this article one more time and then we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.
In recent years, a simple hand gesture has become popular on social media for its ability to save lives. The signal for help allows victims to ask for help without words and has already led to several rescues around the world. The gesture was first created by the Canadian Women's Foundation during COVID-19 lockdowns in 2020. At that time, many people were stuck at home with abusers and could not speak freely. To make this gesture, first hold up your hand with your palm facing out. Next, tuck your thumb in so that 4 fingers are visible. Finally, fold your fingers down over your thumb. The signal resembles gestures for the numbers 5, 4, and 0. If you see the signal, reach out safely and let the person guide what happens next. However, take note that the signal has its limits. If an abuser knows the signal and notices it, the victim could face more danger. People who don't know about the signal might also use it accidentally. Still, knowing how to recognize the signal is worth the effort, and it could one day help you save a life.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 signal 名词，表示信号、讯号 ；gesture 名词，表示示意动作、手势或姿态 ；rescue 可以当名词或动词，表示救援、营救 ；resemble 动词，表示与什么相似或是像 ；accidentally 副词，表示意外地、不小心地。文法的部分，我们第一个学到 with 加受词加受词补语，这个句型是用来说明附带状况或原因。受词补语你可以用分词、形容词或介系词片语。第二个学到了 if 引导条件句，用来表示可能发生的情况。那句型就是 if 主词加动词，逗号祈使句，或是 if 主词加动词，逗号主词加上 will、can 或 may， 再加原形动词。第三个，我们学到 WH 疑问词引导名词片语的用法。那么 WH 疑问词后面可以接不定词 to V 来形成名词片语，可以当主词、受词或是补语用。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Literature is a body of written works that include various forms of artistic expression.We're talking like novels, short stories, poetry, plays, and essays. Well, did you know that Lukang used to be a major literature center in Taiwan? Well, there's a building located there called the Shiyi Hall, and that's where we're going to explore today. On Nine Turns Lane, Jinshen Lane, the most famous building is Shiyi Hall.Lukang used to be a major literature center in Taiwan, and the owner of Shiyi Hall used to invite intellectuals to gather here. The elevated corridor that connects the two parts of the building passes over Jinshen Lane. The Chinese characters for Shiyi Hall mean 10 suitable activities, as Shiyi Hall is suitable for playing instruments, playing chess, writing poetry, painting,admiring flowers, watching the moon, smoking, drinking wine, drinking tea, and gambling. 一楼 is a small loft that is a part of the Qingchang Old House. A tall star fruit tree arches over a small round window. A story says that Lady Ying and her husband lived in 一楼. Before leaving to take the imperial examination, her husband planted the starfruit tree and told her, "Let the tree remind you of me. After the examination is over, I will return at once." However, that was the last she ever heard from him, and she died after falling into a deep depression. This is a sad story, but the bottle gourd and ancient currency are carved on the window, symbolizing well-being and fortune. Lukang Assembly Hall sits on Putou Street. It was built in 1928 as a space for public gatherings. Lukang Township Office repaired the building and changed it into Lukang Cultural Center in 2010. Hopefully, you learned a lot about the different buildings located in Lukang. They all have so much cultural significance and rich histories that are waiting for you to discover. So, what are you waiting for? Head to Lukang when you get the chance.